All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Minecraft Therapy. Today, I want to talk to y'all about spirituality slash religion slash God slash a higher power slash whatever you want to call it. I want to talk about that today. So, first off, I want to talk about kind of the general general aspects of religion before I dive into like my own personal thoughts about spirituality and all that stuff. So first of all, I think it's important to kind of define exactly what I mean by religion or spirituality. I'm gonna talk about spirituality, not necessarily religion, because I feel like those are two separate things. I feel like as human beings, it's been pretty well recorded throughout history that we like to come up with stories. Hopefully that's not an offensive way to describe it. Stories about why we're here, how we came to be, what happens after we die. Basically a lot of explanations for things that seem out of our control. And I would say that, to me, is what spirituality is. Spirituality is basically everything that's outside our own little tiny human beliefs about how the universe works. And spirituality is the way the actual universe works outside our comprehension. I think religion is definitely a manifestation of spirituality. I think religion is a human man-made creation, basically a human manifestation of spirituality. And I think even people who are faithful adherents to a religion would tell you that religion is not God or a higher power, whatever word you want to use for it. I'll probably just use God to reference, the divine whatever, but that's just to make it easy. I'm not saying that Christianity is the one true religion. What would be great here? A roof. I guess we're just going to sleep. We don't even have a bed. Great. But yeah, religion, I think, is not exactly spirituality or God, which I think, I don't think that is necessarily controversial, because I think, there's a lot of issues I think people have with religion, and I think that, religion in America has been declining a lot since, I don't know, the 1950s or whatever, and I think part of that is because religion has become like a really, I don't know, there's a lot of pros and cons with religion, right? The pro is that it's a very, you get to be in a community and learn about God together. The con is that there's all this bad stuff that happens in religion sometimes, and it can also cause people to kind of become dogmatic. So, yeah, I'm not hating on religion or anything, but I just think like religion, people think to be spiritual and to have a connection with God or a higher power or whatever, you have to be a part of a religion, which I don't think is true. You can understand that there's something. What the fuck am I gonna do here? You can understand that there's something like more to the universe and life without necessarily being part of a religion. And this spider's gonna climb up here, isn't he? Okay, we gotta knock this spider down. Would have been great to have a bed. Oh, luckily these zombies are kind of protecting me, but I also don't want to stand up. Oh god. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're gonna burrow in somewhere. We're gonna burrow in somewhere. That is probably the best course of action. Run away from everyone. Jump in the water. Burrow somewhere. Okay. So that's my religion, etc. rant, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff about in Christianity, for example. A lot of people talk about you have to be God-fearing. You have to be a God-fearing man or woman. I don't necessarily believe that. My God is not someone. My God is super nice and chill. He's not, or he or she is not someone I need to be afraid of. So I think spirituality, not religion. But yeah, let's just dive it a little bit more into this spirituality religion thing and why I want to talk about it, I guess. I feel like growing up, I definitely was not religious growing up. I definitely was one of those little shithead, like, 10-year-olds who was like, God is not real. I'm an atheist because of the scientific method, and the scientific method tells me that God does not exist because you can't observe him and you can't have a hypothesis about God, so therefore, God is not real. Yeah, I was a little shithead. But, yeah, growing up, I definitely wasn't religious. I definitely thought, believing in God was kind of like what I just talked about. It was like just a way for people to get manipulated and believe in something and get in arguments with people who don't believe in your religion. And I kind of saw that religion, it was like a big distraction to me. I was like, why is everyone obsessed with this like fairy tale when there are much more pressing concerns that we should be, doing? Little 12-year-old me thought that. Yeah, and I think I kind of thought that, and was kind of like an atheist. I was like, you can't prove God exists, so therefore he doesn't exist. He or she. Also, I'm going to probably refer to God a lot as he, but it could be, he, she. These are all just human words to try and explain like a concept that's way beyond us. So like, hopefully don't get too bogged down in the details. But yeah, growing up definitely wasn't religious, but I feel like, or spiritual even. I wouldn't even say now I'm religious. I'm more spiritual than religious. But I feel like around my early 20s, I kind of just felt like I feel like what I really needed. So what I really needed from from spirituality was I needed a few different things from it, and I feel like I kind of found that through understanding that there is something beyond my own comprehension. I guess that's why I'm saying like little 12-year-old me was a shithead, because I feel like little 12-year-old me was trying to act like I knew everything about the universe, and I knew for a fact that God did not exist because of what everyone on Reddit was telling me about, atheism and whatever. But it's like, I feel like through spirituality, it just helped bring a lot of stuff to my life that I felt like I needed. So yeah, and I guess kind of like, what is spirituality to me? Because it's like, I'm not religious. I don't go to church. I don't pray every day or whatever. I don't do like, I'm not like religious, you know what I mean? I don't have like rituals I do, but I definitely feel like I believe in a higher power, and I believe in, like, I guess I believe that thinking about a higher power is something I want to do in my life, because I guess I'll just get into it, because of like stuff that I personally need in my life. So I feel like one of the things that being spiritual taught me is faith. And faith is a tricky thing for me, because faith is belief, and when you have faith in something, my friend told me this quote, which I think is really good. The opposite of faith is not doubt, it's control. And I feel like in my life, I felt like I needed to have a lot of control over my life. So I needed to control my grades or my job, or just, my day-to-day life, have a schedule, and just like make sure my life's going according to plan, so that I can, retire at the right age and live the quote unquote correct life for me. The typical standard American dream. Your parents, moved to America so you could live this great life, and I felt like I needed to really plan all that out and control it. And I feel like spirituality taught me to let go of that control, because I think you know, there are a lot of things in life I can't control. I can't control, and I think that is one of the great, one of the big like things we as humans wrestle with. What's the quote? I learned. Oh, this guy's totally gonna kill me. Oh, thank God. Oh God. And there's a skeleton shooting me in the butt. Oh, he got me right as I rounded the corner. Good shot, guy. What's that quote? It was in The Boys. I don't know who said it. He said, that's man's curse is to know so much and what is it? Know so much and control so little. I'm messing up the quote. But yeah, it's like I feel like that is really something we as humans wrestle with, because we feel like we really control a lot. That is the American like thing, you know what I mean? It's like you control your own. It's the American dream, you know. It's like you control your own destiny, and if you work hard and put in the elbow grease, you can make a better life for yourself. You can control your life. That is literally the American dream that they tell us. But first of all, the American dream is dead. Second of all, I think that that's not even true. You know what I mean? I think a lot of life is outside of our control. You know what I mean? Even if say you were a super successful basketball player, right? And you put in all this effort to train and become the best at basketball, you know, you had to be born with certain genetics to be a certain height to be a basketball player. You had to be born into a certain family to have them support your basketball whatever. You had to go to the right college for basketball, get drafted by the right team, all this stuff to become LeBron James. You know what I mean? LeBron James, I don't doubt that LeBron put a lot of work into becoming LeBron, but I also think like, you know, a lot of the factors that made LeBron were outside his control. And I think that applies to LeBron and basketball, and that applies to you meeting your wife, or you and your super successful job. It's like we think that. Let me murder this guy before I keep talking. We think that we control a lot, but I think we don't. And I think like trying too hard to control everything, it drives you crazy, first of all, which I think is not good. And I think is a big reason why I had to kind of tap into spirituality to have faith. And it also like has the opposite of effect. Like I think by trying to control life so much, you actually like move yourself in the wrong direction. You like are so obsessed with like the results and like making sure you do all the right stuff that you don't leave room for spontaneity or miracles to happen. You know what I mean? Maybe not literal miracles, once again, but you know, there needs to be, I think as humans we need to it's hard for us to let go, but it's like you almost have to let go, because whether or not you let go, you still can't control the universe. You know what I mean? And I think spirituality just helped me to teach me that that stuff is, I should not focus so much on like just trying to control everything, and that actually if I can let go of control, I can be a lot less stressed. I can have more time and energy to apply to the things that I actually can control. Because there are some things I can control, you know, my thoughts, my happiness, maybe not my happiness, but like, you know, I can control what I think about. I can control what I say. There are things I can control, and I think it's trying to control everything is no bueno. You got to have faith and kind of let go and trust that, I don't know, a higher power is going to take care of it. Maybe not take care of it, but like there is a higher power, that at least that's what I believe, that is doing that's doing the work also. You know what I mean? It's like it's a lot to feel like you have to do all the work yourself in this big old universe. You know what I mean? It's like me, little old me, is supposed to like manipulate time and space to achieve my dreams. Oh, but that's a lot to put on my shoulders. But it's like once I believe that someone else is helping me, maybe not someone, something, who knows what else is helping me, it becomes a lot easier to just to do my part and trust that things are gonna work out. So yeah, faith is something that spirituality has taught me. And I guess I kind of want to dive a little bit more into specifically like because I feel like I'm being a bit ambiguous about what I mean by spirituality and like how it applies in my day-to-day life. Like I said before, I don't think I'm not religious and I don't do religious rituals, but I feel like, spirituality to me is like, just like, I don't know, I'll walk around in a park or just on the street and I'll see the trees and the birds and nature, and it just like in that moment I feel like I could understand that there's something more beyond me that made the trees and the birds and the whatever. Maybe it was evolution. I believe in evolution. Let me just say that. There's something that, evolution is beyond me and beyond my control and beyond my comprehension as well. You know what I mean? And it's like, just like in nature, I can see spirituality and see God, and in these, sometimes in like a still moment to myself, I can like understand that I am a part of the universe and a part of God as well. Oh my God, can I kill this guy before he kills me? That was so terrible. I can't believe I did not kill that guy. Oh my God. I have to really believe in God. That was God's plan. I hope I can find my house and shit again. Oh my God. That was actually legitimately horrible. God, why would you have that happen to me? But yeah, just in nature, or I feel like kind of understanding that. I feel like when my grandparents passed away, that helped me to like understand spirituality and the universe and how there's more to me than that. I don't know. It's just like I don't have like, I'm not real. How many times I'm going to say I'm not religious just to like really, I don't know, prove a point or something. But, I don't do stuff that would make me religious. But there's just these moments I have where I feel like I understand, I don't know, it's like I just feel like a connection to the universe or whatever. It's kind of like in the last video how I was talking about the energy. You just like kind of have these moments where I will feel in touch with the universe and by extension, quote unquote, God. So yeah, and I feel like kind of comforted in those moments because the universe is very big and scary, and I feel like, yeah, another thing that religion taught me is about my ego, which is, I think, related to control, actually, because I think part of wanting to control stuff is having this ego that you think you can control it. You know what I mean? I don't think an ant thinks to itself, oh yeah, I can like control the universe, and if I think positively and manifest a breadcrumb, I will get it. But for some reason, we humans like to think that we are in control and we shape the universe in ways that other animals don't. And I feel like, being in touch with spirituality helps me to kind of rein in that ego. I think just like it's helpful to think about things like death, for example. That's like a big thing, and I think I'm always I'm very afraid of death. Like I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about literally sleeping for eternity. So 10 billion years plus 10 billion years plus 10 billion years. whenever I think about me being dead for that long, like I really like start to get this sinking feeling in my stomach. Um, or at least it used to be a lot worse, but I feel like, well, it's still because let me just not think about it. But I feel like yeah, because I'm so afraid of death, and like I feel like I cling to life or something, and I really feel like afraid that I'm not doing enough with my life, and like I need to do more, and my life isn't exactly how I want it to be, so it's like I started to stress myself out about that shit. But I feel like spirituality helps me to understand that it's not that serious, bro. I'm gonna die one day. We're all gonna die one day. Um, None of us are making it out of this shit alive. Literally, none of us. And when I think about that, you know, obviously it's a little depressing, but there's also life. And I think like, I guess like the spirituality, it's not even like a spirituality thing with death, because I don't even necessarily know that I necessarily think about an afterlife a lot, or like reincarnation or that stuff. Not that. Is my house over there? I have so much stuff. Sigh. Why did I challenge that skeleton? But yeah, I don't necessarily. Yeah, it's like the way spirituality relates to death for me is just like it's a big question mark. And I think religion and spirituality are ways that humans try to answer the question of death. I guess for me, it's almost like death itself is a spiritual thing, because it's we're all going home, when we die, wherever we were before we were alive, before we were born, before we were zygotes, before we were even sperm, wherever that place in the ether was that we were before we were born. I feel like we go back there when we die, and it's like going home. You know what I mean? It's like, it's almost comforting to think that it's going home. And like I said, it's like we all die anyway. And I think just accepting death, like instead of being afraid of death and I don't know, feeling like death is this deadline I have to do stuff by, I feel like kind of realizing that death is a natural part of life, inevitable, and that's the way it got cooked up for us, either by evolution or a higher power. That's just how it is. I feel like, yeah, it's yeah, it's almost like it helps to um just keep me in check, because then it's like I'm not like so like obsessed about my job or my relationships or whatever. It's like, oh, it's like everything gets really put in perspective when I think about death. And I feel like death, in that way, death is spiritual to me. Yeah. So thanks, spirituality, for helping me out with that. I think another thing spirituality helps me out with a lot is I feel like with spirituality, I am on the side of the good guys. I feel like not necessarily. I feel like, yeah, okay. With spirituality, I feel like I'm on the side of the good guys. I feel like with spirituality, I can believe that light is winning, that love is winning, that I'm doing the right things and on the right path if I always believe in love. Because I feel like that has been something I've struggled with in life. I feel like for a lot of my life, I was depressed or angry, especially the first 18 years of it. And I feel like, yeah, I had this like nihilistic point of view towards life, where it's like, there's no scientific evidence that God's real. There's no scientific evidence that love is real. It's just chemicals in your brain. Light is just from a dead star billions of miles away. All this stuff that maybe it's like factually true, but it's a very negative way of looking at life, I feel. It's not um it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative way of looking at life, but like the way I was using it in my life was negative, because then it became like, oh, nothing matters, so I don't even care about it's like, so I'm just going to be depressed all the time and not care about anything. And it just wasn't like healthy for me to be in this space where I was like so nihilistic about everything. And I feel like with spirituality, it just like, I don't know, it just, yeah, like I can see how if you believe, if you have faith, if I don't know, you can like have something good in your life. I don't know. I feel like spirituality has taught me how to be, like, not how to be happy, but mm, how to believe that there is goodness in the universe, and a love and a light that's like floating around out there, and like actually something that could help me. Which, like I said before, is much better than being like super scared and like feeling like you have to do everything on your own and figure out all of life on your own, which I'm not ready for. I'm not ready for that responsibility. So I feel like just trusting in that light has really just like helped me a lot, because then it's like, if I believe that love has won, I can love myself, and I can believe in myself. And a lot of like in a lot of ways, like, me being spiritual is very selfish, because it helps me a lot when I have faith in the universe. It's like I could have faith in myself. I could believe in myself. When I control my ego, I can let go of a lot of stress and let go of a lot of things that are weighing on me, and just feel like, oh yeah, it's like, just let it go. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And with the love thing, it's like, if I believe that there's a universal love out there, I can believe that it's all going to be okay. It's all going to turn out, that love is taking care of all of us and taking care of you and me, and the darkness isn't going to consume us all, and it's going to be okay. So I feel like in that way, those are the ways that spirituality have helped me a lot. And once again, hopefully this video didn't come across as too preachy, but I think these are just kind of things I've been thinking about. I definitely don't, I feel like I'm still kind of working through my own personal spirituality, but definitely, my thoughts have changed a lot throughout my life on this thing, but I definitely feel like it's very helpful to me. Like, I don't think like I would be who I am or where I am today if I didn't start like getting in touch with that a few years ago. So I feel like that's good. And yeah, that's the video. We lost all our stuff, but I guess that's God's plan. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope y'all are doing well, staying nice and cozy this October. I'll catch you guys very, very soon. Stay safe, stay sane. Catch you next time, once again. Peace.